It usually happens on a Tuesday, or maybe a Friday. You walk to the mailbox. You grab the mail. You see a white envelope from the government. You assume it's a cost of living adjustment, maybe a tax form. You open it, and your world stops. The letter says you owe the United States government $62,000. It says they paid you too much, for years, and now they want it back. All of it. You didn't steal. You didn't lie. You didn't fake a disability. You cashed the checks they sent you because you trusted them to do the math. But the math was wrong, and now you are the one paying the price. This isn't a rare clerical error. At any given moment, the Social Security Administration is trying to claw back billions of dollars in overpayments from millions of Americans. These are the horror stories of retirees, widows, and disabled workers who woke up to find themselves in a financial nightmare. In this video, I'm going to open the case files. I'm going to show you why the computer makes these mistakes. I'm going to tell you the story of the disability trap. And then, I'm going to hand you the defense strategy, the specific forms you need to file to fight back before they freeze your bank account. To understand the crime, you have to understand the weapon. The Social Security Administration runs on ancient technology. We are talking about computer code written in the 1970s and 80s. It is a massive, creaking machine that processes trillions of dollars. And it has a lag. Here is how an overpayment happens. Let's say you are on disability and you try to go back to work part-time. You follow the rules, you report your income, you send them your pay stubs, but the machine doesn't read them, or a human clerk puts them in a pile and forgets to type them in. So, the computer keeps sending you your full check, month after month, year after year. You think, everything must be fine, I reported it, they are sending the money, I'm safe. You are not safe. 5 years later, the system runs an automated audit. It checks your IRS tax records against your Social Security payout. Beep! Mismatch found. The computer realizes it paid you $1,000 too much every month for 5 years. It doesn't say, oops, our bad. It says, you owe us $60,000 right now. This brings us to case file number 1. Let's talk about Mary in Ohio. Mary's husband died when she was 63. She went to the local Social Security office grieving with a box of tissues in her hand. The agent behind the glass was kind. He typed on his keyboard. He said, "Okay, Mary, we are going to switch you to survivor benefits. Here is what you will get." She signed the paper. She went home. She lived on that money for 10 years. It paid her rent. It paid for her heart medication. Then the letter arrived. The SSA claimed that the agent, 10 years ago, calculated her pension offset wrong. They said she should have been getting $200 less per month, $200 times 12 months times 10 years. The bill was $24,000. They told a 73-year-old widow living check to check that if she didn't pay, they would cut her monthly benefit to zero until the debt was settled. This is where the horror sets in. Mary didn't have $24,000. She didn't even have $2,000. She had spent that money on survival. In the eyes of the law, this is technically a debt, but in the eyes of reality, it is a retroactive tax on survival. Fortunately, Mary found a lawyer who knew the magic words, against equity and good conscience. We will get to that in the defense section, but not everyone is so lucky. Case file number 2 is even commoner, the trial work trap. If you are on SSDI, disability, you are allowed to test your ability to work. It's called a trial work period. You can earn money for 9 months without losing benefits. It sounds generous. It is actually a minefield. Here's what happened to John. John went back to work. He reported his wages, but the Social Security office was backlogged. They didn't process his paperwork for 18 months. So they kept sending the checks. John called them. He said, "Hey, I'm working. Should I keep these checks?" The person on the phone said, "If we sent it, it must be yours. Don't worry about it." Never trust "don't worry about it" unless you get it in writing. 2 years later, John got hit with a $50,000 overpayment notice. Because he worked 1 month past the deadline, he wasn't entitled to any of those checks. The clawback was brutal. They garnished his tax refund. They threatened to garnish his wages. He was trying to get off disability, and the system punished him for it. Okay, you've seen the horror. Now let's talk about the weapon you need to fight back. If you get the letter, do not panic, and do not ignore it. You have rights, but you have to act fast, usually within 60 days. Step 1. The appeal. Form SSA 561. If you think their math is wrong, if you did report your income, or if they calculated the months wrong, you file a request for reconsideration. This forces a human to look at the math again. It pauses the collection while they look. Step 2. The waiver. Form SSA 632. This is the big one. Even if the overpayment is real, even if they technically paid you too much, you can ask them to forgive the debt. You have to prove two things. It wasn't your fault. You reported the income or you didn't know. You cannot afford to pay it back. Paying it back would mean you can't pay for rent or food. This is called against equity and good conscience. If you win this waiver, the debt vanishes. Poof, gone. Step 3. The negotiation. Form SSA 634. If you lose the appeal and you lose the waiver, do not let them take your whole check. You can negotiate a payment plan. You can tell them, I can only afford to pay back $10 a month. They usually accept reasonable offers rather than leaving you destitute, but you have to file the form. The Social Security system is broken. It is underfunded, understaffed, and running on obsolete tech. They will make mistakes. The horror story isn't that the mistake happens. The horror story is that people are too scared to fight it. They see a government letterhead and they just give up. If you get the letter, remember Mary, remember John, take a breath, download Form 632, and fight for your money. If this true crime breakdown opened your eyes, hit the like button. It helps us warn more people. And if you want to know how to navigate the disability rules without triggering a trap, watch this deep dive next. I'm Walter, staying vigilant for you.